Hey everyone, it's Madhumita here again. I'm a staff product manager at Walmart Marketplace. Welcome back to my channel, Product Mastery in the Age of AI and ChatGPT. Today's episode is the AI Solo Founder Mindset, how I 10x my PM impact. Grab your coffee because this episode is going to be very interesting and is a game changer. Last year, I had a realization that completely transformed how I work. I was managing a major data platform initiative, juggling between technical details, synthesizing loads of information, research data, and trying to stay top of all rapidly evolving data technologies. Does it sound familiar? Well, here is the thing. I am now handling 3x more with better outcome and less stress. And no, I didn't clone myself or had a team. So what's the secret? Well, I developed what I call the AI solo founder mindset. And it doesn't mean that you should leave your job and do something, but it is about building AI solo founder mindset. And it's not also what you think. It's about fundamentally reimagining how we approach product management in the age of AI. We should stop thinking, how can AI help me to do the start? Start thinking, how can AI help me to do 10x more? And this is the mindset I've used and developed this podcast script which is going to be the next sections and segments are going to be delivered by Notebook LM. Very thankful to that product, which translates my script to a beautiful podcast uh, managed by two speakers. So it's super engaging, interesting to listen to that. Stay tuned, keep listening. Some of the interesting sections that are coming ahead, how the data platform PM stack looked like, what are the different challenges, and then how my approach using a Gen AI product called Claude and using to my benefit as a PM and how it improved the way I work, the outcome I delivered, and how now I'm 10x productive. So stay tuned, keep listening. Hope you enjoy this session.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really plunging into something that's fundamentally changing how product managers can work, especially if you're in those complex technical fields. We're reimagining product management in the age of AI.
Exactly. And our source for this deep dive is based on insights from a pretty specific podcast episode, wasn't it? Something called the AI Solo Founder Mindset, How I 10x'd My PM Impact.
That's the one. So our mission here is basically to unpack that source material, pull out the really important bits, the key knowledge, and give you some actionable strategies you can actually use, like starting today, to apply this AI solo founder mindset to your own work.
And the claims in the source, well, they're pretty bold. I mean, really exciting stuff.
Yeah, the promise is achieving significantly more impact. They throw around numbers like 10x and handling way more initiatives, maybe 3x what you're doing now.
And somehow doing it all with less stress,
Yeah.
which, sounds almost too good to be true.
Right. A bit like a fantasy. But the source actually lays out a really concrete way to get there.
And that's the journey we're taking you on in this deep dive. We'll look at, the problem with the old ways first, then really understand the core ideas behind this new mindset.
We'll get tactical, like really specific AI workflows and those daily multipliers they talked about.
Uh-huh. And we'll cover the internal mindset shifts too, because let's face it, the tools are only half the battle.
Definitely. And then we'll ground it all with some real stories, the wins, the stumbles, and even some surprises they found along the way.
The key thing, though, that the source emphasizes is this isn't just about, sticking an AI tool onto your current process.
No, it's about a fundamental redesign, rethinking your whole approach to work from the ground up. Okay, let's unpack this source material.
So the source starts by painting a picture that I think a lot of PMs will recognize, especially if you're in a complex space like, say, data platforms. It's that feeling of just being completely buried.
Yeah, like you're juggling way too many big projects at once.
Exactly. And you have to dive deep into technical reviews, trying to make sense of mountains of research from all over the place.
Constantly trying to keep up with tech that changes like every week, it feels like.
And then bam, something blows up. A data pipeline fails and everything else stops.
Oh yeah, that feeling of being totally maxed out, where you just know one more thing, just one, and something important is going to fall through the cracks.
There's just no give in that traditional model anymore. And the source's big realization is that trying to operate like that with those old workflows when you've got AI that's this capable now, it's just inefficient.
It's like their analogy using a paper map on a modern highway system when everyone else has GPS.
Right, the old tools just aren't cut out for this new landscape.
So you can't just tweak things. You need a redesign from first principles using AI. And that's what they're calling this AI solo founder mindset. It's built on 3 core principles.
Okay, the first one is key. Multiplication, not addition. It's not about AI saving you like 5 minutes on one task.
No, the goal is exponential, like 10x impact, using AI to massively amplify your capability.
Which leads straight into the second one, systems, not solutions. The source really hammers this home. Don't just use AI for a one-off fix.
Every interaction, every prompt should be building something reusable, a template, a framework.
Part of your prompt library, yeah. So it compounds over time. You're building leverage, not just ticking off tasks.
And the third one is a bit of mind bender, partnership, not tool. Don't think of AI as just software.
Think of it like a co-founder, a partner with different skills that when you combine them with your expertise and judgment, unlocks completely new levels of work.
Okay, so that's the mindset, foundational. But then the source gets really practical, right? Detailing the actual AI workflows they built. Let's dig into that tactical stack, especially for, say, data platform PMs.
Yeah, let's get into it. First up, they built what's essentially a technical research and synthesis engine. The whole point is to quickly digest super complex technical stuff from loads of sources accurately.
And crucially, figure out the business implications right away.
Exactly. And they shared a bit about their prompt structure, like non-negotiables on technical accuracy.
But also forcing the AI to connect the tech details back to business outcomes, look for patterns, flag risks.
And even pushback, like challenge your thinking, which is interesting.
Yeah. And the output format is really structured too, like a quick summary for execs.
More to deep dive technically, a separate business impact analysis, and clear next steps. Really comprehensive.
And the example they gave was pretty stark, evaluating 5 real-time data processing options.
Right. Fed over 30 sources, articles, docs, internal stuff, everything. And in 45 minutes.
Got back an analysis that they say helped them dodge a potential $3 million mistake.
Yeah.
Just by picking the right tech based on that deeper, faster analysis.
45 minutes versus potentially months of deliberation and maybe still getting it wrong. That's the multiplication right there.
Seriously. Okay, what's next? Competitive intelligence.
Competitive intelligence for data platforms. Super critical in that space. They described this weekly process, analyzing what key competitors they named names like Snowflake, Databricks, Confluent, Fivetran, dbt Labs were up to.
And they weren't just looking at press releases, right? It was product updates, architecture shifts, pricing changes, partnerships.
And customer case studies, too, specifically looking at the problems those competitors were solving for their customers. That's clever.
So the output wasn't just news, it was answering. What changed? Why does it matter to us? What are the strategic implications?
Yeah.
Opportunities, threats.
And the game changer example, finding out about a new Databricks feature 3 weeks early.
Which let them adjust their own roadmap quickly. Stay ahead instead of reacting. That's huge.
Definitely. And the third big workflow was about PRD generation that engineers actually love, which, let's be honest, is often the dream.
Totally. The goal wasn't just a document. It was one engineers found genuinely useful and would keep referencing.
So they packed the prompt context with requirements, starting with the why, the business case, the metrics.
But also system design, diagrams, SLAs, performance needs, data governance, stuff like lineage and quality.
Capacity planning, cost projections, failure scenarios, mitigation, MVP versus the full vision. Pretty thorough.
And the style. Technical, but still gettable, right?
Yeah.
Assuming some baseline distributed systems knowledge.
Yeah. And the result they reported, the AI-generated PRDs were better than the ones the PM used to spend ages on, and engineers actually used them during the build.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Better quality and save time. Okay, so those are the big strategic workflows. But they also talk about smaller daily things, didn't they? The productivity multipliers.
Yeah, 5 specific daily workflows. These are the things that just eat away at your day if you do them manually. First is the technical intelligence briefing, like a morning summary.
Pulling from Production Metrics Datadog, they mentioned GitHub PR summaries, Slack engineering chats, support issues.
Right. And the output is this quick conversational brief. What broke overnight and why, but in business terms? What shipped and its impact? Any worrying patterns?
Plus, like, one technical insight for stand-up and some smart questions to ask the team.
Exactly. The value is walking into that morning meeting feeling like you actually know what happened without spending 2 hours reading logs.
Okay, next. The code review translator.
The code review translator, yeah. Because as a PM, you might read code, but you're not in it every day like the engineers. This helps bridge that gap for reviews.
So the output gives you a plain English version of the changes, the user impact, business stuff like cost or scalability.
Plus, smart questions to ask the engineer, and flags potential risks or edge cases.
And the example for this one was catching that optimization.
Right. The one that saved CPU but would have exploded data transfer costs. Engineering hadn't thought about the business model angle, but the AI analysis flagged it. That's a great catch.
Definitely. Third daily one, ADR assistant.
Architecture Decision Records Assistant. Yeah, for analyzing those dense architecture proposals from a product viewpoint.
So the prompt asks it to look at things like, how does this enable or block business capabilities, customer impact, competitive angle?
TCO over 3 years, migration impact for current users, alternatives, trade-offs, and importantly, flagging any assumptions that need validating.
And the result, the PM's input in architecture reviews suddenly carried the same weight as the tech leads, just by having that structured, product-focused analysis.
That's influence right there.
Yeah.
Okay, fourth, the data quality translator, making data quality actually matter to the business.
Taking those technical metrics and customer reports and turning them into a business story.
Yep. Output focuses on revenue at risk, which customers are affected, quality trends, root causes, fixes by ROI, quick wins versus systemic stuff.
And the impact story here was pretty direct.
Yeah.
Showing a $2 million revenue hit, got those data quality initiatives funded. Money talks.
It really does. And finally, the fifth one, the technical debt prioritizer, tackling that backlog.
Creating a framework for it, basically.
Looking at quantified business impact, risk like probability times impact, validating effort estimates, dependencies, quick wins.
Even identifying strategic debt. Stuff may be worth carrying for a bit if it unlocks something big.
And the output is a prioritized roadmap with clear business justifications. Makes those tough conversations much easier.
Okay, so those are the tools and workflows. But the source was really clear, wasn't it? That the tools are just the start. The real change is the mindset.
Absolutely. Tools give you the power, but you need to think differently to really use them. They highlighted 3 big shifts. First, from perfectionist to optimizer.
Yeah. Ditching that need to spend hours getting a doc perfect before anyone sees it.
Right. With AI, you generate an 85% good draft super quickly, maybe 30 minutes instead of 6 hours. Then you refine it.
And they quantified that saving 5.5 hours per doc. If you do, say, 10 docs a month.
That's 55 hours saved, almost 7 full workdays back per month. That's huge capacity unlocked.
Okay, second shift. From imposter to interpreter. Especially for PMs without that deep engineering background.
Stop trying to be the engineer. Focus on being an amazing translator between tech and business. AI helps you grasp the tech faster.
So you can focus on the business implications, the strategy, play to your strengths.
Exactly. And the third shift, from reactive to systematic. Every time you solve something with AI,
Turn it into a template, a system. That prompt library becomes your asset.
you're building compounding leverage, not just fighting the next fire.
Makes sense. And then they wrapped with real stories, right? The good, the bad, the surprising.
Yeah, the stuff that really proved this worked, or taught them lessons. The big win was the migration that didn't fail.
Planning a critical data pipeline migration, always scary.
Super risky. But they fed all the system docs, architecture, everything into the AI. Asked it for migration scenarios, failure points, rollback plans.
And the AI found, what, like 15 unexpected edge cases the team hadn't thought of?
Yep. So they built specific checks and plans for those. Result, smoothest migration ever, 0 customer impact. Using AI for risk mitigation.
Okay, but there was a failure too. The overconfidence trap.
Oh yeah, important one. The PM got a bit carried away, used AI alone to make a big architecture decision, didn't really loop in the team early enough.
And the AI spat out a technically perfect design.
That was totally impractical. Ignored all the team's institutional knowledge, how things actually worked, team dynamics.
Lesson learned. AI amplifies human judgment. It doesn't replace it. Always validate with the humans.
Crucial lesson. And the surprise. The customer insight goldmine.
Using AI to analyze 6 months of support tickets for the data platform.
And finding that like 60% of performance issues weren't performance issues at all.
It was customers trying to use the batch system for real-time stuff it wasn't designed for. They had an unmet need.
Exactly. And that insight, pulled from unstructured data by AI, led directly to launching a new real-time analytics product.
Which made $5 million new revenue in its first quarter.
Yeah.
Wow. Direct line from AI analysis to a major business win.
Incredible. Okay, so we've hit the problem, the mindset, the tactics, the shifts, the stories. That's a ton of info. For you listening, how do you actually start? The Source had a really practical week 1 action plan.
Yeah. Designed to get you going without being overwhelming.
Yeah.
Day 1 and 2. Pick one technical task.
Yep.
Just one, something that eats your time now.
Maybe drafting specs, research synthesis, code review help, whatever it is. Document your current process, how long it takes.
Days 3 and 4. Build your first AI workflow for that task. Craft a prompt, test it on real work, tweak the prompt based on the output. Iterate.
Days 5 through 7. Measure the time saved, look at the quality better, worse, same. Share what you found with one colleague you trust. And start thinking about workflow number 2.
And the goal for week 2. Have 3 working AI workflows saving you at least 5 hours a week.
Imagine getting 5 hours back every single week. What could you do with that time?
So the big takeaway from the Source, our message for you today, really is that this AI solo founder mindset isn't about replacing you.
Not at all. It's the opposite. It's about using AI strategically to massively amplify your unique PM skills, your judgment, your creativity, your business sense, so you can focus on the stuff that really moves the needle, building great products, solving real problems.
And let's be real, especially in complex areas like data, things are only getting more complex. You kind of have a choice, right? Struggle with the old ways.
Or start building these systems, like the ones in the Source, that let you scale with the complexity and actually thrive.
So the challenge for you from this deep dive, pick one task,
Mm-hmm.
build one workflow, see what happens.
Start small, but please start now. And if you do try it, seriously, let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with, building on this source material.
The future really does seem to belong to those PMs who can leverage AI to have the kind of impact that maybe today takes a whole team. How are you going to become one of them?
Okay, that wraps up this deep dive. Next time, we're planning to get even more specific, looking at how AI might help you design data schemas, even if you're not a data engineer yourself.
And how that could change your interactions with architects. Should be interesting. Until then.